What's going on, everybody? My name's Tyler. This is Sean. We're Rendered Reality. Coffee and VR is coming at you right now.
We put on a show everywhere we go. We live our lives hooked up to the show. It's virtual reality, lost in space. Flawed personality with a smiley face. Be who you wanna be. Make up the memory. It's virtual reality.
What is going on?
Glad you guys are. Oh, sorry. We changed our intro up a little bit. Let us know what you guys think of that. I don't know. We kind of were getting stale with the other way, so
Mixing it up a little bit.
Different.
Yeah, normally, I was just going to say, normally, when we get ready to do these coffee and VR shows, a lot of times, there's been a lot of weeks the past couple months where we've been just so much stuff we're so excited to talk about. And we have notes that are so long that sometimes we don't get to all of it. And this past week hasn't necessarily been one of those super exciting VR news weeks that there's just so much coming out that we can't wait to talk about it. But we still have some pretty cool stuff this week, and we have some topics that we want to kind of dive into with the chat and stuff as far as VR advertising goes, as far as all these VR mods, because really this has kind of been a week of VR mods, and that's the big
100%.
topic this week. So we want to dive into some of that. We want to get some of the opinions and stuff from chat about VR mods. If you try VR mods, if these VR mods are worth it to play, some of these big time, big name flat games in VR.
Some of them,
yeah, for
and
sure.
others not. Others are ones you wouldn't have access to. If you weren't into flat gaming even at all, and you're into VR. I mean, basically like we are, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I think it's going to be some good topics, so it's going to be a little bit different of a show. Not as much big news stuff. We did get some games released last week that we want to talk about. There is still some big news stuff that we want to talk about.
Come on, man.
But yeah, so I mean, it's just VR is still small in the relative space of overall gaming. It's a very small niche still. It's definitely growing. These past few years have been really good for VR. We've seen growth really start to take off. But there's still some weeks bigger than other weeks. So that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's great. I think it's great what we're seeing, and I think the trend is really good. I like to see the community as well. The guys putting in all the hard work. I'm keeping up with all these mods, especially. I can't imagine.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah. So what have you been playing this week, man? I've been playing a little light VR. It hasn't been a whole lot this week. It's been a little.
You're too busy.
Well, I've had a lot going on this week, so it's
sure.
been a little tough. So I just wasn't really capable.
Yeah, I played a couple different things. With some of the new releases, I played the Blue Planet VR, which is actually just came to Quest. It's been out on Steam and Oculus. Tony Digital, thank you for that super chat. He said, I got the V29 update, but my dash is still the same as before. Did you guys have that issue? Yes, that is and that's $25 super chat. Thank you so much for that. But that is an issue. V29 did come out, and some of the UI stuff has changed, and a lot of people haven't seen that change yet, and I actually haven't either. And there are some ways, some people say you can go in there and change the language and restart the headset like 5 million times. I've tried some of that stuff. Nothing has got me that. Even though I'm on V29, it's kind of weird. But we'll get into some of the V29 updates. But as far as stuff I played this week, I played Blue Planet VR, because that just came out on the Quest. I played it on Quest and Oculus. It is cross-buy. I've played some Puzzle Bobble VR. I went back into Z-Race, which I played some Z-Race. I'm still waiting on the multiplayer update for that, and they're still coming out with the cockpit update. I still really like the game, though. That game, it still gives me the sense of speed and stuff, and that's what I like from those kind of games. It's a good game. I'm looking forward to those updates. Played a little bit of Population 1. I actually was playing Population 1 before Eric for President's live stream debate, and I had a timer set, so I knew when to jump out so I could go catch the live stream, and it's hard to stop playing Population 1 once you're in there. It really is.
When you're in the middle of a match, come on. Like, you can't walk out in the middle.
Right.
I mean,
I also played some of the Forever Bowling that isn't out yet on the Quest. We can't talk about it too much because there's under NDA. So we did play some of that. That is coming. Looking forward to talking about that probably next week on the show. But I played quite a bit of stuff. I didn't play any Demeo this week. I played last weekend, but Now, I'm going to say whatever pops in my head sometimes, DeMeo. I see Alex VR in here. I know he still loves that game. He talked a bunch about it on their show yesterday. And it's just an awesome game. But I am getting to the point where I've beat that first book so many times that I am really looking forward to the second book now, where the draw that keeps bringing me back in isn't as much there because I've beaten the first book so many times. But it's still a blast to play. And I still learn new stuff all the time.
I still
and
feel
playing
like
with
it's different
people.
every time. You play it
is.
different every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, you might attack some people the same, but it changes because you get other people and other characters.
Yeah, and you never know where the character, the bad guys are coming from, which room they're in. You never know which door to take, which path to take. There's so many different cards. Still love the game. Really looking forward to book 2 though. So I haven't played that as much this week. I played a bunch of stuff. A little bit of Contractors early in the week. I played some more Zero Caliber on the Quest. I just love the headshots in there with my gun stock. I got my M16 all set up and decked out, and I'm just like boom, boom. I just love the feeling of that. But again, I've played all the missions, so I'm to the point now where it's like, okay, I've done all the missions. I can, try to better my time through those missions or, my accuracy, but it's like, I need some more content. There needs to be something else there. So, but it is what it is.
Good to see everybody in chat. Ton of people in there already. Dan from Denmark. Good to see you, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, everybody. Artful, person, Anakaze, all the regulars. Good to see you guys. Glad you're here. And that one's for you guys who were here early.
I'm going to throw out some codes because last time we had Tyrell on, I forgot and I didn't throw out any codes until like the end of the show. We were in such good conversation. And huge shout out to him. He's an awesome guy. We literally talked to him for probably at least an hour or two after the show ended. Just some heart-to-heart talk with him. Great guy. Really appreciate him coming on, as well as all the guests that we've had on. It's just such an awesome community. It really is
nice
really
to see somebody else who's like a true player and like who actually like plays games and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, we've played a bunch of them. He's jumped in with us when we're live streaming and everything else. But so getting into some of the V28 update stuff, or V29, because that is some of the bigger stuff that happened this week. And it's some big updates. Well, it is. I mean, it's some big updates. Yeah, I mean, there was the whole debate, the whole Reddit thing of, people making these super clickbaity titles and that, that was part of what ended up happening with Eric for President's stream. And some of the debate between Blair and Thrillseeker. Blair's the developer of Lo5. If you didn't catch that live stream, make sure you catch it. These are for charity. So I think it was Pika this time. And they are essentially a company that turns storybook stuff into VR experiences for kids in classrooms and stuff. And the funding for that was really well. I mean, I think he said that they reached so far, what was it? I think $5,000 or something, like 2,000. Yeah, a little over 2,000 already for the stream, and that fully funded 10 classrooms for VR learning. So that is really awesome. And it was great. It was a great debate. It's very interesting. But I do think that version 28 and version 29 were pretty big updates. As far as the Quest goes. I mean, there was some pretty, especially with AirLink, in version 28. Now, I mean, I understand where some of that Reddit post is coming from of the over-the-top thumbnails, and this is the biggest update ever, and great things.
Oh, and shout out to everyone who said something about us in there. Cheers to that. Well, we do see you guys out there.
Yeah, we actually read through all of that Reddit. So, but I mean, I think that it is. For a show like this, I think it's something worth talking about because that's what we do. We just talk about, it's just two guys sitting here, or maybe 3-4 people sometimes just sitting here, BSing about what happened in the news week this week, and that's what it is. But with version,
I mean, I think it's good. Every update's a good update, right? I mean,
for the most part,
I'm sure there can be some backward stuff every once in a while.
And there is in this one too.
Breaks it.
There is in this one too. So so in version 29, the big things that we got, are the 120 hertz mode with AirLink. For me, that's not huge because I have my Quest set to 120 hertz for the games that support it in the Quest. And honestly, I don't really notice the difference very much between 90 and 120. So for me, I would almost rather save the computer performance and just run it at 90 hertz. But for some people, there are a lot more susceptible to that 120 hertz. They notice it more. Hey, if that's you, that's an awesome update for you. If you notice the 120 hertz and you like, I only want to play VR in 120 hertz. Hey, that's awesome. You know what I mean? That's good stuff. So for you, that's a good thing. It
doesn't ever make that big of a difference to me anymore.
I notice a difference from like 90 to 144 and like the index, I can tell a difference and stuff. But for the most part in the Quest, I haven't really noticed a difference between 90 and 120. But like I said, it's just
Ray Holder in chat brought up my favorite thing, and probably the one reason why I think it's a big update is voice recording.
But that's a big issue too.
It is, but I think that's the direction that they need to go. Like, why was that not ever included in the beginning?
I agree, and I think it's
You know
some
what I mean?
performance stuff. And the problem with it
Right.
now is
And
that
that must be their problem.
well, the problem is it uses a variable rate to record. So even when you record natively on the Quest, when you go back and look at that footage, all throughout that video, your audio doesn't match
It's
what
off.
the video is, and it changes all. So you can get it perfectly
Right.
timed later on the video, it's off again. So for content creators that are doing Quest
stretch
videos,
it.
that's a huge pain in the butt. The problem
Right.
is now is you're adding a voice track onto that same track that you can't split separately. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then if the audio doesn't match the voice, it doesn't match the video, and it changes all throughout, it's a mess. And you can't
is.
turn it off other than muting your microphone. So if you mute your microphone, then you go into a multiplayer game, nobody can
Then
hear
they
you.
can't hear you.
It's kind of a mess right now. I guess they did come out and say that they're working on fixing it, but I don't know why they pushed that in this update if it wasn't right yet. Like, they need to get that stuff right. I mean, showing off VR content while you play is a huge thing that draws people into
everything.
wanting to get VR. I mean, that's why Beat Saber got so big, because people were watching people play Beat Saber in mixed reality. You know, if it wasn't for content creators putting out Beat Saber videos, you know, nobody would even know what that is for the most part, other than the VR enthusiast people that were enthusiasts back then for the most part. You know what I mean? So that was something that I was excited about for this update that kind of got botched, and it's not as exciting now as it was, but it is exciting that they're moving in that direction, and hopefully they get it all fixed. Hopefully they get it all worked out.
It's the right direction. It has to happen. I mean, it's all about, and why wouldn't they want that? I mean, it only works with what? Facebook? Or does it or doesn't it work with Facebook
What's
before?
that?
I was trying to remember the voice. Didn't you have voice?
I don't remember, because Facebook streaming was garbage too. I've tried it before,
I know,
and
right.
it's
No,
low
I agree.
quality. I think you did have voice when you streamed to Facebook,
Right.
if I remember right. And somebody can let us know in chat, because that's
And
not
were
something
they just
that
trying to like push it towards Facebook and limiting maybe?
maybe, but the quality wasn't even good for that. So did I miss another
No,
super
I
chat?
know.
I did. Rizzle Rock said, great
Yes,
show
Rizzle.
last week. The Through the Lenses are some of my favorite videos. Thanks for getting
Yep.
awesome guests and for the Saturday entertainment, and with a $5 super chat. So thank you,
Heck yeah,
Rizzle
man.
Rock, for always being here for the live streams and
we just like hanging
out.
out
So,
with everyone, like even
Yeah.
Tyrell too. Like
Yeah,
that's
we
why
love
we
the
sit for
community.
longer even after the show, just talking to him.
yeah,
Like,
we've done the
that's-
same with Gamer Tag. I see him in
do
chat.
that, yeah.
Everybody we have on, we usually have really good conversations even after the show ends. So
I feel like a lot of times we only have like people on who we really connect with, and not that we're willing to like go outside of our realm and talk to other people, but like I don't know, I feel like it's the ones we really connect with, you know.
yeah, for
that we end
sure.
up
And
having
I'm sure
on
there's
anymore.
more. And a lot of times once we have them on, it builds a relationship too that we didn't
Absolutely
necessarily have
does.
before.
For
So
sure.
it's
Yeah.
a really cool means of making
Yep.
friends and building
Nah.
relationships. But
You say next that clickbaits bait me to click, they work.
it does. That's why people do it. I mean, that's why.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And part of that is the YouTube algorithm. That's what
Yeah,
works.
just getting
So
the views
you have
and the
to
clicks and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
some people have to, you know, use what works, you know, to grow a YouTube channel. It's not easy to grow on YouTube. It's not easy at all, especially if you don't use those things like the clickbait titles and the clickbait thumbnails and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is to a certain degree. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people don't like it, but they also click on the video and watch it. So it's like,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
know.
It's a weird subject. YouTube is a weird beast in and of itself.
It
It's
is.
just, it's really weird.
And then
but-
the whole 10-minute thing. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, no, like
Yeah.
no. Why 10-minute video? No.
Yeah, it's
No one
hard
has time
sometimes
for
to
that.
stretch things out to just make it hit that. And I think it's 8 minutes now, but it's
Whatever
just,
it is,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, I agree.
Right.
It's weird. But also with the version 29 update, which one thing that I was very excited about is the fact that notifications, and right now it's only with
right.
Apple. So Apple phones, you can set up to have your lock screen notifications come through to you on your headset. That to me is exciting. And I don't have an iPhone though, so it is coming to
Right.
Android as well. I'll be much more excited when it comes to Android. But that's a good thing because, you know, that's why I like the nose gap so much a lot of times, because I can peek out and look at my phone, but it's not always easy
True.
because you're doing a lot of eye strain to kind of look through there, and it hurts my eyes sometimes if I'm trying to respond to a text. But I want true integration, and there are some apps out there that'll do it, you know, on Steam
There
and
are.
stuff that'll bring your phone in. So I think that is the future. We need to move forward with that kind of a thing, you know, to be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, our
they
phones are
must
very
know-
important in our lives, unfortunately, but.
Yeah, that disconnect time is great in my opinion, but I mean,
That's true.
we know Oculus is pushing that as well because of all the leaked images and stuff, or well, video even that was out of the phone apps and stuff on the headset. So we know they dabble with it, and I think they do want to connect it. I mean, ultimately,
sure they
don't
will.
they want to connect, you know, the headset with Facebook and merge those two as much as possible? I
Yeah.
mean, seamlessly. I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure they do too.
I don't know
But,
which
yeah.
way they're going to go about it, but we'll talk more about that.
And they're
later,
also
too.
getting some mixed reality stuff with the Quest to be able to do,
Yeah.
which hopefully that all runs smooth because they're so far, they don't have a good record of being able to easily make
Right.
Quest content. We'll see. I haven't messed with any of that yet. But another thing that I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit of a deeper conversation, but not much, is the whole fact of advertising. Because with this update comes the fact that they can advertise to you in the app. Not a big deal. If you're in the Oculus
Right.
app, it can advertise a game, recommend a game to you or something like that. To me, that's not a big deal. One of the things that concerns me is what the future is for advertising. We know Oculus is owned by Facebook, so obviously
Right.
all of their revenue and stuff comes through advertisements and stuff like that as far as the Facebook platform goes. So what is too much? Are we going to be playing our favorite VR game and be like, boom, big pop-up that says you can't pass this video for 5 seconds. You got to watch this to get back into your game. I don't think they're going to go that route, but obviously that's too much, right? If it ever would go to that would be ridiculous.
On their own platform. Yeah, I mean, that's too much, but we're going to see more of it. I mean, yeah, and the bad thing
too.
is that advertising space? I'm sure it is, that devs have to pay for that then
Right.
to have their stuff featured. Or is Oculus going to shortcut everyone and put their stuff right on it, that's from
Yeah.
in-house?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's everywhere. I mean, no matter where you go, it doesn't really matter, but
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing to me that when we've talked about this a lot in the past is the whole thing of advertising implemented into a game. I think of a game like GTA. You're driving around, you see a billboard for
Absolutely.
a cable company or phone company. Like that is so not intrusive that can be just blended into the world. Not all games would work very well like that, but that kind of stuff to me isn't as, I don't mind that as much, right?
The one that I've said forever is the very subliminal stuff, right? So when the objects you use are then advertised in.
Right.
So instead of just a generic pop can, you have a Coke can or a Pepsi can.
Right, right.
Or the gun is an actual Smith & Wesson with the branding on it.
Right.
I mean, it can go across any realm. I mean, and not that it's, all... Yeah, I mean, it is subliminal advertising, right? It's odd, though, because we don't see that in sim racing. Because cars, you actually have to buy those rights to have those cars. So it's kind of the opposite, which in my mind,
Right.
I don't know why it is. Because wouldn't those car brands want their stuff to be
That's
used
what I
and
would
used
think.
correctly?
Yeah.
But I've never understood that.
Yeah.
I think it's probably worked that way since the beginning, and it was a fight to have certain cars in certain games. So I understand that. But when it comes to advertising, that is so easy to subliminally have, because you use them. So just like when you're used to having stuff at your own home or wherever every day, that's what you like, and you just go back for it. So
Yeah. Do you think it's wrong though?
common.
Do you think it's wrong for Coke to have their Coke can in the game that you pick up? Like if Population 1 got sponsored by Coke and Coke wanted to place an ad in their game, and now you're popping Coke cans for health instead of Pop One cans.
If there is no disclaimer, if there is no known statement saying that before you start that game, there is at least some type of policy in the beginning that says there is advertising from all these brands. I think
Right.
if you go in blind in there, then yes, it's completely wrong.
Yeah. I'm curious.
there
I'm
has
curious
to
to
be
know what other
something.
people, if you're watching this video or in the chat, like I'm curious to know what you people think. Mark Lanal said, sim racing has advertising all through it. The cars are billboards for so many companies too. So, I mean, I do see sponsors from
Right.
car sponsor stuff in games and sim racing games and stuff. But see, that stuff doesn't really bother me too much. And VR Spry Guy said, I don't like Coke. So maybe you don't like that game
Right.
because you have to drink the Coke cans instead of a Pepsi can if you're a Pepsi guy. So I don't know. I mean, it's still, advertising is all around us in this world. You can't turn on a radio station, a TV show, anything without advertising. But advertising also can be very annoying. So the
Right,
worst kind of
right.
advertising is when it breaks what you have going on for an ad spot. When you just want to see what comes up next in your show or whatever.
Sure,
So
sure.
I think some of that stuff implemented into VR can be a very useful way to advertise without breaking the experience. I don't know. It's a weird. It's a weird. Area still. I feel like. So,
I mean, it's another way for devs to earn income as well. So you have to look at it as that. So
Yeah.
just like phone games, they're free because you have ads.
but those are so annoying because you every time you're
They
playing a
are.
game, they stop you from playing to show you that. You know what I mean?
Those
are
are,
the
but that's
worst.
the cost of being free. You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't have that game for free it might be $5 on your phone instead of being free if you didn't have ads or buy out the ads.
Right.
So I could see something like that, having pop-up ads in VR as the demo version or as the ad version, and then buying the full game without them.
Yeah, even that's kind of annoying, but
It's
yeah, I don't know.
annoying.
So in
It
chat,
is, but
some people are, so Aspen Darkfire said,
it's curious.
I'm not against it, but easy to influence kids. So I'm not sure if he's talking about the ads or the clickbait titles, but that is one thing, as more of these games, kind of like Puzzle Bobble and stuff that we're going to talk a little bit about, are geared more towards kids,
Sure.
it's different to me advertising to kids to try to influence them for different things as it is adults, but so that gets weird. Maddie Matt said subliminal ads are fine. Rizzo Rock said it's the future, which I do think it is the future. I'm just curious what direction they're going to go.
Right.
Paradise
PD,
Decay
that's my
said,
first one.
I expect to see
that.
adverts when I play games like Lo-Fi, for example. For sure, like Lo-Fi has billboards, has, very cyberpunk futuristic world. You walk up to one of the, the pawn shops, it's almost advertising in there when you see the old Nintendo glove and the old school stuff, even though that stuff isn't really available now, but it still makes you think of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I could totally see that in Lo-Fi. I think Lo-Fi would be a great example if he could get some advertising funds from companies to put their objects in the game. I think that's cool, but
Alex, cool companies or products might be cool. Coke and McDonald's can die in a fire.
Hey, yeah. So I think it depends on people's feelings of those objects too. You know what I mean? If they're very biased for one thing or another, it could get weird.
Then I think devs have to take that in consideration because it does change the mindset of people using their game as well.
Yeah.
Like, will it chase people away because you're letting a company, put something in their game? And then you go on to the, PR aspect of it. Well, if that company does something wrong, what do? Do you change out all their assets or get rid of them in advertising?
Like that,
just like you see with Nike and Adidas, sports stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it gets so complicated. It gets so weird.
Crazy,
I feel like we need like a psychologist to take this and like break it down. You know what I mean? For how.
Look, I think the breakdown is it's money over everything. So advertising is for monetary gain for companies. So eventually it'll be worth it for them to pay money to advertise.
I agree. So Tony Digital just said pure O2.
Of an individual's visual field
Exactly.
before inducing seizures. So picture this.
Right?
An individual's visual field before inducing seizures.
So this is a clip from Ready Player One where Nolan Sorrento essentially was saying how much of the VR space can you fill with ads before inducing seizures into the player. So, and when I saw this movie back in the day, me and Tyler went to see this movie together with the wives when this first came out. And the first thing I thought of when I saw this was, this is Facebook. You know what I mean? This is Facebook right here.
We said this since we started doing this in 2016. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. This is coming. We know it is.
Exactly. So, I mean, this is, to the extreme, obviously, but it is something that I'm sure Facebook is looking at for the future of how they can make ad revenue inside these games, and you don't want to see like what they're showing here, all these pop-ups and stuff, that'd just be terrible. But it's something that's going to have to be discussed at some point. But
I can't think of it. There is I think it's an Amazon series. It was an Amazon series, a Netflix series where you have like an implant, like a contact that goes in. And people buy them, and they all went like rogue the one day, and everyone had like pop-ups to the point where they were like having seizures and like they couldn't take it.
It's a thing. It could be a thing. But when I saw this in the movie, I was like, oh my goodness, like I don't even want to think about the day when this kind of stuff starts to happen. But Big Show, thank you for that super chat. He said, what specs do you think or hope the Quest 3 will have? So we did get, pretty much confirmation that they're planning on having eye tracking and face tracking in the Quest 2 Pro. They haven't said anything about Quest 3, and they still say that's a ways off.
How they're dividing it, right?
Yeah, they still say that's a ways off. But for me, I definitely want. I mean, some of it is just easy as comfort, better audio, hot swappable batteries in the back, like we talked about.
I'm still crying about weight
with the Vive stuff. The Vive Focus 3, weight. As well as obvious stuff like field of view bumps, resolution maybe a little bit, but it's already getting pretty close. Lenses, I think lenses definitely need to improve. There's so many things I go on and on about what I would love to see in Quest 3, but Quest 2 is already a pretty impressive product. I think Quest 2 Pro is definitely going to be an even more interesting product. I definitely think things need to start going towards eye tracking and foveated rendering to save on performance on, GPU end and all of that. So I think that's something that I definitely want to see, and I think that is something we're going to start seeing here pretty soon. So
the bad thing is I don't think we'll have anything until we see a new chip come along.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a next gen chip that can handle all this stuff.
Yeah, but
it could handle it on this one.
foveated
Don't
rendering
get me
is gonna
wrong.
help too.
It does. It does. I think they could get by on this, but I don't think it's worth it for them to release it on an XR2.
Yeah.
Don't.
So I don't. We'll have
it
to.
would be too backdated, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I
tons
could
of
be wrong.
things. There's
It
tons
could.
of things I want to see. We'll have to wait though and see what I think.
Yep.
Eye tracking and face tracking is going to be something that Oculus is going to heavily focus on here
I
coming
agree.
up for the future. And also,
social.
Matty Matt
They're
said
social
DLSS. DLSS did
Yes.
come out for. I forgot about that. That's not even in my notes
Yeah.
for VR
No
titles.
Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's Sky is the one right now, the big one right now.
2 others. There's 3.
Yeah. So and that's
that I know.
huge as far as performance gains and stuff, being able to run some of these games in VR, which a lot of these games are already so hard to run in VR, even with good performing stuff. So anything that can take away, from some of that overhead and help it run easier is a win for me. So that's great
absolutely.
news. Great news for the DLSS stuff.
Just
But-
another thing that devs have to try and implement.
That's true.
Who was Starblazer? They put out. I'm trying to think what that was. Oh, on Reddit. Did you see that? Where he was like,
yeah.
something about like
That was on
another
Twitter
day
and
at the
Instagram.
office or
I saw it
something.
first.
Was it?
Yeah, and he was like testing
was
and
awesome.
popping on all these different headsets because you got to test it in like all these
know.
headsets and stuff. That was funny.
And
I
all the
enjoyed
time,
that.
man. I feel so bad for these devs with the controls, with the headsets, with
Yeah.
everything. It just has to drive them crazy.
Yeah,
now
for
it's
sure.
even
For sure.
farther yet.
So one thing that did come out this week was Puzzle Bobble VR. This is from
Yes.
Servios. This came out last week on the Quest. It's essentially a mobile game, technically, in VR. This is how I feel about
Mobile
it.
style.
Yeah, mobile style. It's pretty fun. It's not something that, I played this for a little bit. This is my footage right here. First time I ever hopped into it. It's definitely not something that made me go, man, I can't wait to play that game again. It was kind of cool, and I think people that like this kind of game are going to be more drawn to it and play it more than somebody like me. Cool game. Essentially you're matching colors and popping the balloons. The more balloons you pop with each shot, the better to eventually clear the core. There is a multiplayer aspect of this, which I have not played yet. There's kind of like a story mode where you go through levels, and then there's like an infinite mode that I played later on. Kind of cool, chill out, relax game that you can sit in a chair and be comfy. If I'm going to play a game like that, though, it's probably going to be DeMeo. I'm just going to say it both ways every time because I don't know. We are going to throw out a code for this, though, so this is a Quest code if you haven't picked this up yet. Let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of people have played this, especially content creators. When the game comes out, a lot of people put out their video the day of. I don't know. I thought it was cool. It's not something that's going to bring me back much. I don't know that I'm going to play this very
Not my
often,
style.
if
Right.
barely ever again. It's from Servius, though, a pretty good dev, but they've been doing some weird kind of things lately, I feel like, but...
Yeah. Somebody person said, I think you need an RTX card for DLSS, and yes, you do.
Yeah.
The other thing is I just turned off, I don't know if it popped up in chat or where I saw it, about the Quest 2 giveaway.
That ended.
Which ended,
ended
actually,
last
yeah.
weekend. That was shipped out this past week. I don't think he's got it yet. I haven't heard anything. I need to check the tracking. I think it should be there pretty soon, though. It was like 2-day shipping. We threw in a bunch of extras in the box, too. I didn't announce any of the stuff that was thrown in there. Maybe we can after he gets it, kind of a surprise, or he can if he, I think he's on Twitter. I'm not sure if he's in our Discord.
Oh, is he? Good.
The problem, one thing I want to say about giveaways is if you sign up for a giveaway, make sure you check your email when these things end, because we give 24 hours to respond to the email, where we will then send you the key or get your address to ship whatever. I hate it when I send one out and the person doesn't respond, and I feel so bad because I have to draw another one, and that happened with the Quest 2, unfortunately. So they may have still not have seen that email. But if they ever do see that email, they're going to be so disappointed that they missed out on getting the Quest 2, and I feel terrible. But it's the way it works. I can't wait forever. It's not fair to everybody else to not be able to announce who the winner is for, So, and we wanted to give it away. We wanted to ship it away. We wanted to send this thing off. So, it is what it is. But make sure you check your emails. We do have a giveaway right now going on Gleam for Blue Planet VR, which we're going to talk a little bit about. So hopefully somebody got this puzzle bobble.
And there's
code.
a question in that too. So even if you don't want the game, please at least just sign up for it.
Yeah, and answer the question. We were trying something a little bit different this time for the Gleam
sure.
giveaway. So who got the puzzle bobble code? Anybody say? I don't know who got that, but let me know who's played Puzzle Bobble and what do you think of the game? Some
people spend hours playing these kinds of games.
and that's
stuff.
what.
And
but
don't get, I can bury myself in a phone game every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong.
And the thing is anytime we talk about games are very, very subjective. So just because it might not be our most favorite game ever doesn't mean that other people aren't going to love it. We love Population 1. Not everybody does. You know, we love Contractors. Not everybody does. So it's very different.
I think for me, I like games in VR more that take advantage of VR and give you that experience of, wow, like I'm doing this different thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if this, I don't know.
Yeah, so on a
Matt said, "Be right back, checking spam folder."
Yeah, and that's one thing. Always check your spam folder, just in case. You never know.
I'm like,
you never know where they go. So I feel bad. I hate when that happens. Absolutely hate it because I want the person to see it and win it that was the first one drawn. You know what I mean? But it doesn't always work that way. So Anakaze said, "Okay, look at the puzzle bobble slingshot. It's not a slingshot. It's a single fire gun where you pull back the firing pin, and essentially it is. You know, this is kind of reminds me of the game Angry Birds, except for this, like it's not as much about aim or anything, you know, like you know exactly where it's going to go when you release it, you know, and it's, I don't know, it does get more challenging. You know, this is the infinite mode right now. The story mode does get more challenging because you have to do certain things within a certain amount of shots or a certain amount of time or whatever it is. I don't know. It's not the groundbreaking VR hit that is going to change the world. I don't think. Maybe for other people it is. I don't know. I mean, it's still a cool game. I think it's geared more towards kids. I think my wife is going to like this game. I was trying to get her into it this morning, but she actually went to go get me a vanilla latte and some breakfast before the show, so she hadn't played it yet. Let me know your thoughts. I don't know. It's all right.
Chris Richardson said, "Morning, boys and girls," referring to you as the girl, I'm assuming.
I don't know. This beard kind of gives it away.
Tyler's
gonna be working on his 10K soon.
Whatever,
10K
man.
before the end of the year. Tyler will be.
Dude,
bearded.
if we're gonna, I told you we're shutting down. We're shutting down at $9.99.
Oh my goodness.
That's
so the other game that, and not really a game, but Blue Planet VR. This is the trailer. The thing about this is that you need to be made aware of, I guess, is that, you know, some people see this and they're like, I'm not going to pay for a 360 video experience. This is not 360. No. This is for full volumetric, you know, photogrammetry. Is that how you say it? Yeah. And it looks incredible. So I played this on the Quest and I played it on the PC VR as well. And it pretty much looks the same because you're not running a game engine. You're, you know, experiencing these worlds, and it is limited. You know, there's probably, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 experiences and stuff that you can go to. But I mean, this is full depth. You know, you can lean in and out. You know, if there's a window in a place, you can stick your head through there. It's a very cool experience to try out. Something that I think has huge potential going forward as far as experiencing real life places that look pretty much like you're there. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it feels like you're in these locations. And this is kind of like Google Earth. You know, once you're into these places, you can move around. There's spots you can teleport around to and really experience them. Not as many places as Google Earth, though. I mean, Google Earth is kind of unlimited.
But it is. But it's unbelievable when you get into these, too, how you just, like, get those jaw drop like moments in these that you're just like, holy crap. Like, you know, again, watching it flat on video like this
doesn't do anything.
But when you're in it, it's just, oh my gosh. And then you just keep wanting to see more and look and do more, and it's just it's really cool and an awesome thing to show people.
Yeah, for sure. Great
to show off
a
headset.
Yeah,
they're
and
great.
I mean the amount
it's easy
of work
for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's nothing to learn really, and you can it's pretty cool. You can pull
just
up
put it on.
You can pull up the 3D model in your hand of the whole scanned area essentially.
Sure.
It's really cool, but I mean the amount of work that has to go into these to be able to get them this high quality is mind-blowing, the amount of work that it takes. But I do think this is almost the future of traveling and stuff. You know, to be able to travel to some of these places, to really feel like you're there, get a sense of scale, get a sense of all of it. You know, and this stuff I think is going to continue to get better and better. You know, and even this, I'm sure they have plans that they're going to add more areas and stuff in there. I would have to imagine. I don't have confirmation of that, but this is Blue Planet VR. I saw Aspen Darkfire. So this is available on Steam, on Oculus Store, and now it's available on Quest as well, which if you can pick it up on Quest, I mean, it's really no different from the PC build. It doesn't really look much different. You know, like I said, you're not running a game and an engine and all these things inside of a game, but
I'm still waiting on the first one to do it when you can do it with, like, you know, and I know we say this, but a multiplayer. And I'm not saying because for multiplayer purposes, more for if you had family somewhere. Like say I was on the East Coast and somebody on the West Coast, and we could go in there and see these places together and have those experiences, you know, when even right now still people can't be around other people or can't travel or don't want to travel or I think there's just a lot of opportunities when it comes to that.
I think so
just
too.
to say, hey, look, check, you see this over here? Look at that. You know, I think that would be.
So
really
Chris
cool.
Richardson asked about Wander. He said, I haven't been in there a while. I wonder if they improved anything. That actually has multiplayer now, where you can team up with people.
That's
and I
right.
haven't done that with anybody yet. We need to go.
They
in there.
did have that update.
But I love Wander. Wander is essentially Google Earth. Not all the features that Google Earth VR has, but it's still pretty great. And like I talked about it a couple shows ago, every time I go on vacation, when we went to Clearwater, Florida not long ago, I went and checked out the couple spots that we thought about staying. And you can get such a better idea if this is a place you want to stay, the layout, what's around it, than you can just looking it up on a flat map. It is excellent for doing stuff like that before you travel. Absolutely love it. So yes. Matty Matt said, is this a huge game data-wise? Yes, it was like 18 gigs to download on the Quest, which is one of the biggest things. I think what was the one game that's like 12 gigs? Saints and Sinners, I think, with the Horde update thing was like 12 gigs or something like that. So I'm pretty sure this is probably the biggest thing you can download for your Quest. It said it was like 17.3, but it went past that and was downloaded. It was like 18 gigs that it pretty much downloaded. So big. And that's big if you have a 64 gig Quest and a bunch of other games. This is a big file, so be aware of that because it's massive.
I think we have the whole Richardson family in here. I don't know about the whole family.
Awesome.
But
That's
Dark
cool.
Angel's in here too, I saw.
That's awesome. So there is a Gleam giveaway for this going on, though. In the link description, sign up for that. It ends like Monday or something like that. We'll draw the winner. Check your emails, though. Check your emails so I don't have to draw multiple times.
Yeah. We don't like them to sit in limbo for too long.
Yeah, we want people to respond to those emails. So.
Transition,
Yep. Let me see. Let's talk.
Neo Majika says multiplayer is a heck of a lot harder to develop and support, and absolutely it is.
But it's worth it,
especially with the references and stuff going across the server for each one. They are 100% harder. I just think it takes VR to another level. I do.
Yeah, I do. And I think a lot of times it gives it a longer lifespan as well.
Oh, absolutely does. Yeah, for sure. Every game does. It has multiplayer.
So I'm just looking at your question here, your poll in chat. It says, is making assets in-game for an actual brand going too far? And almost 80% says no, and 20% says yes. So interesting. It's kind of the way I feel, but it does get weird depending on the product, depending on the age of the kids. So there's still a lot that goes on around that. You know what I mean? Like,
I would rather see branding done as actual objects than I would see it like pop-ups. Does that make sense?
I agree.
I don't know. I think, like loading screens, or I would rather see the actual things in there. And I feel like it's not as the what? Rendered like an asset? Yeah.
So they're probably asking about the Quest 2 giveaway because the bot is still posting Quest 2 giveaways in the chat. So I don't know why that's still going on. I'm sorry for that. We'll do another Quest 2 giveaway here coming up pretty soon, maybe. Unless something else, you guys want to do something else, I don't know. But we just like giving stuff away. So
yeah, exactly.
The one thing I did want to talk about though for this week is Jetborn Racing.
Oh yeah. This
looks sweet.
Yeah, I'm amped about this.
This looks awesome, and this is from it's VTOL, right? The VTOL, developer. So
which have great controls. I mean, a great game, and I think this is just great. I wish it had one thing that I told you about before the show, is I wish it had some like Red Bull air racing like style. But that's just me, just because I like watching that kind of stuff.
And that's always something they can add, too. You know, that's not something that's beyond the realm of what they can do in this game.
Probably not, minus they're kind of on a closed course, so I know that might change it a little bit, but I think they could still do it inside of a closed course. I think it would be awesome. But yeah, man, the speed feeling in this, though, would be real. You know, flying through stuff, and you'll notice towards the end of it, yeah, that's true.
Z-Race gives me these vibes, and Z-Race gives me the
because
feel.
Of the tunnel feel.
Yeah, it gives me the feel of speed, I think, because of the closed-off tunnel, and that's one thing I really like to hear, this part
right here. This is what I was telling you about. I think that's on the finish line or something, like there's turrets, maybe. I don't know, but I think that's incredible. I love that. So maybe when you're done, you get set there on the sidelines. I don't know, but that's awesome.
It's like at Busch Gardens when the water rides, and you get to pay $0.25 for the squirt gun things and squirt the people with the water as they're finishing up. But so Jetborn Racing. So this is essentially an online multiplayer air racing game from the creator of VTOL. Like we said, pilot a high-performance jet aircraft through challenging courses in a race to the finish. Fly in VR or on desktop with virtual or physical HOTAS controls. 8-player online races, hot laps, and you can also race to rank in the global lap time leaderboards. So this is set to release, at least on Steam, it says May 2021. So it should be coming
So-
up here very soon.
Beanzo said, he said, who got the quest? I thought he said, is this for quest?
So we always announce the winner in the Discord under the giveaway section. I have to even go look to see who it is. Giveaways. So it was Walker is his first name. And I guess his handle or his gamer tag is Tenko Tweets. So that was who ended up winning the Quest 2, and I shipped that out this past week. I actually posted the picture of the box that before shipping it out on Discord too. With we put some rendered reality stickers on the outside of it and stuff. So pretty fun stuff. So that is who won. We've been talking about doing another gun stock giveaway, like another Mammut giveaway. We may do another Quest 2 giveaway or something like that. It's just fun. We just like.
We've got some big ideas. If we grow bigger, I want to do some big things. I want to hook some people up with some real PC gaming. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. We should do that. But
so this game is PC, but I feel like it could come to Quest, don't you?
I don't know. I mean, we would have to talk to the dev. I mean, some people just aren't really interested in trying to develop the Quest, but looking at the graphics right here, it looks to me like it could run on the Quest. And definitely it should run through AirLink or, regular link or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
virtual desktop.
But I haven't seen anything about this coming other than just to Steam. I don't know if it's coming to the Oculus store, is it? Does anybody know?
I have it's only Steam as far as I know.
Yeah, as far as I know too. If somebody's seen it as anything listed for the Rift, let us know, but I haven't seen
this
that.
This does look so cool. And I love the dash of the plane, and you can see it in the thumbnail if you look, has a course on it, has like a course layout map, which is super cool. I really like what they're doing with this. I cannot wait to try this.
Yeah, this should be pretty fun.
Yes, HOTAS would be awesome to be smooth and stuff in this.
Yeah, for sure. Multiplayer.
Especially with your rollovers. And
the multiplayer is going to be awesome. So
it's key, man.
And I like it when multiplayer launches with it. With Z-Race, it's a really cool game, but there's only asynchronous multiplayer right now. I wish they would have released the true multiplayer with the game, but it is coming. So yeah, even right here, it just says Steam VR. So I'm pretty sure it's just coming to Steam.
VR Spry Guy said, when is the Yaw 2 giveaway?
I haven't even got mine yet.
Right, exactly.
I can't give one away. That's a big. I don't even know.
That.
I mean, that's the shipping and stuff that goes along with that. I guess that'd be tough.
Yeah, right.
I would love to though. I would love to. That'd be cool.
Pickup only, local.
Yeah, local pickup.
Only.
Maybe that. Yeah, maybe we could do that. Even shipping it to them, to us, is crazy expensive. The amount of money I had to pay when I did the Kickstarter is just insane. Yep. So shipping is not cheap. But yeah. So. Yep. You want to get in? Well, I guess we could talk a little bit about the AR glasses real quick from Snapchat. Sure. That is something that.
Yeah, because I'm torn. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
the biggest thing is it's a 26.3 degree field of view. You know what I mean? But it's a small form factor.
It's like a notification pop up.
Kind of,
to me, that. Come on, that's tiny, man.
Yeah, it is.
But that was my complaint about the HoloLens. Okay, the original one that I tried. That's what I think that was even more than that, and I still felt it was
too small,
not even enough. Yeah.
At least these are very small form factor. They don't look too ridiculous or robust. That you can wear these around without too much attention. I feel like, but it's a step. Rizzle Rock said 10K subs equals Tyler's beard.
Stop, man.
Yes, please, come on. Thank you for that super chat. But
I have to. I don't know who signed myself up for this, but
you did.
It's happening. No, I did not.
We'll have to go back and look. Yeah, there's from Old Coffee VR show. I'm sure it's there. So this is using a 26.3 degree field of view, 2 RGB cameras, 4 built-in microphones, and 2 speakers. The device itself is controlled via a dedicated touchpad mounted directly onto the glasses themselves. Allowing users to launch different lenses from the carousel, as well as activate scan tool, use voice scan. 6 degree of freedom movement, and hand and body surface tracking.
But what's it really for?
I don't really know.
What are we getting out of it?
I don't really know.
Pop-ups and
Yeah. Right now it's mainly.
I know they're doing the floating stuff, and they want to do it for exploring and learning things about locations and stuff like that.
Right.
But I just.
I don't know. No, it's definitely not. This really right now is geared towards developers and stuff that are going to make stuff for this. Right. It's running off a Snapdragon XR1 processor, weighs 134 grams, and offers 30 minutes of action per charge. That's going to be the other big thing. Is
30 minutes? Yeah. What are you going to put it on to look through it real quick, and now it's dead?
Yeah. So that's going to be the other big thing that's going to come into effect with AR. How are we going to power AR glasses all day long? It needs to last at least like a cell phone does. You can typically get through a whole day day on a cell phone. That needs to be where it
Anakaze
is.
said first HoloLens was around 50 degrees. Yeah, I was thinking like 54 or 56, something like that.
Yeah,
what
this
that
is
was, and that's still not
26.3,
enough.
so this is tiny, but kind of interesting to see. You know,
It is.
Snapchat.
It
They
is.
also bought what was the Waveguide Optic or Wave Optics? They bought Wave Optics for like $500 million. So
Yeah.
be interesting to see what the future holds for Snapchat.
I mean, if
and
they
AR.
have cash to burn, they could fund us and our channel. I mean,
Right.
jeez.
But I think
that's insane.
Snapchat could be a player going forward in the AR game. I think they have a platform that could benefit from some AR stuff. I think it'll be interesting, but it is what it
Yeah.
is. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing to get too excited about. I don't think. But
Right. No, I don't.
yeah. So at this point, let's get into some of the big time games that are getting VR mod support. What that means
Yes.
for the community, what that means for the future, who's playing these VR mods, you know, because I mean we've done what do they call those little things that you do up there? The little where they vote. Polls. Yeah. Sorry. Aspen Darkfire, thank you for buying me a coffee. I obviously need more because my
Cheers,
brain is
Aspen.
not working. We also had somebody buy a coffee before the show even started.
Did we?
I'm not. I
didn't
think it
catch
was
that
an
one.
anonymous. It said to the early risers. I'm so not one
man.
of them. So I'm not sure. I think it was an anonymous. Thank you so much for that. That was
Dang,
bought two
cheers,
coffees.
yeah.
That's before the show even started. Thank you for that. But where was I going? Oh yeah, the polls. We've done polls,
Right.
and there's even a lot of people that don't want to mess with side quests because they don't want to have to do anything extra. You know, like we've done, and it was almost usually split. I think sometimes leaning
I
more
know.
towards people that don't want to use it because of the fact that it's extra steps to get into VR. So with these mods, you know, the big ones this week is Red Dead Redemption 2. This is from Luke Ross. This is the same person that did the GTA mod. So a lot of us have
Right.
played the GTA mod. You know, this is another same kind of thing, you know, using a gamepad controller. And then we have, I don't know what you're laughing at. I'm just going to pretend you're not laughing at me. But
Words are hard.
they are hard sometimes.
love chat.
Anyway, I'm on
Whatever.
the spot. I'm on the spot. I can't think all the time.
Whatever.
But Subnautica Below Zero, that's another mod that has recently came
Yes.
out. Risk of Rain VR mod, that is another one that just got released.
Yes.
So
Two.
and some of these, yeah.
Risk of Rain 2.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is there a Risk of Rain 2? I don't even know. I don't keep up on
That is
these.
the one that's VR.
It's Red Dead Redemption 2. Is it Risk of Rain 2? Anyways,
This guy.
I don't keep up on these flat games. I've never played Risk of Rain before in my life. But yes, it is Risk of Rain 2. But
I know.
it is. But so some of these things, when we're talking about Risk of Rain 2, this is a game that has motion tracked controllers in the game, which is
Right.
a big game changer for me. You know, when you come to GTA and Red Dead Redemption 2, you're playing with a gamepad, essentially kind of like a VorpX mod is what this
Right.
is. But
And how I describe it is like, if you know, VorpX is just like a vision or getting to look into a game in VR. I don't feel like it is VR. I feel like VR to me has to have track controllers, or else you're not like immersing yourself in that world fully.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a halfway in between. And don't get me wrong, it's got its place, and people do like it. And I think it works good for stuff like simulators, stuff like that. But when you have a game that has hands in there and you're doing things with your hands and you're not able to do it,
right.
I just feel like it's halfway there.
Yeah,
do.
I mean like you said, it's kind of experiencing the VR visuals, but you're not experiencing the immersion of being in that world, playing the game, interacting and stuff like that. That's how I feel. Susan Cottrell, always hooking it up with them big super
Yeah,
chats.
cheers,
Another
Susan.
$20 super chat. Thank you so
Dang.
much for that. We really truly appreciate it.
Cheers.
So
Yes, we do.
yeah, I like PD said, Rendered Reality, Risk of Pain 2 noob. Yes, absolutely. I've never played the game flat in my life, and honestly, I don't even know that I've heard of that game before the VR mod. I don't stay up on flat games at all anymore. I don't
No,
play
I
any of
don't
them.
either. And honestly, you and I were talking about that before the show. I would rather not play any in hopes that they get ports. You know, when I knew Fallout 4, when it came out originally, I knew that they were working on it shortly after, and I wanted to try it. I wanted to play it, and I'm like, no, I'm not even going to
Yeah.
attempt it if I think they want to work on an
And that was a
official
great
VR
port
mod.
because
So-
that had tracked hand controllers
Right.
and everything, you know, all that. Same with Skyrim.
and it wasn't perfect. Don't get me
No,
wrong.
no. And
Some of
they're-
the guns were clunky and stuff like that. But
And-
the game, it's a huge freaking game. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to play it flat. I don't.
Right.
I want to live it. Like,
Yep.
No.
And this here video is Paradise Decay playing Red Dead Redemption 2 with the VR mod. He has a guide and everything of how to set it up. The VR mod right now is only available through Luke Ross's Patreon. I think it's at the $10 a month level. You can get access to this mod. I played the GTA mod. I didn't play it a ton. I played it a decent amount. The thing with that is that I've already played the whole GTA campaign on the Xbox. And so going in and seeing it was really cool. But you can't play the multiplayer because it sees that the game has been modded and it can ban you from the game. If it had multiplayer support on GTA, I would have played it a lot more in VR. For me, I'm not I don't love the sitting down with the gamepad. It doesn't do as much for me. You know, the ports that we're getting as far as Resident Evil 4 goes, you know, that's a true port into VR. That's kind of changed a lot for VR. It has motion controller and stuff. That stuff gets me a whole lot more excited than just the Vorpex style. You know, PD always talks about Vorpex. He loves Vorpex. He plays all kinds of game in Vorpex, which is awesome. You have the time to do it, the time to spend to get into that. I think it's really cool, but I don't get as excited over a game that I can see in VR, but I still play with a gamepad. I can't interact with objects like I can in VR. That's a big thing for VR for me, is being able to pick up objects, being able to aim with my actual hand. You know, using your head to aim around with a gamepad isn't the way that I necessarily want to play VR. It's still cool to experience. Do I want to spend 400 hours playing GTA aiming with my head and stuff? No, I don't.
Right, exactly. I don't either. I mean, I don't know. We're going to find out because everyone's asking to make a poll on this to see if it's actually VR to not have hand controls. Yeah. And I think for me, I think it's still considered VR, but no, I don't. I actually don't.
It's not full blown VR. I don't think
it's not true VR in my eyes.
It's kind of like Google Cardboard. I mean, that to me was VR, but it wasn't true VR. It didn't show you the true potential of VR. You know what I mean? 6 degree of freedom, hand tracked, head tracked is the potential for VR. You know what I mean? That's how you experience.
And I know there's a lot of in betweens there. You know, you have game pads, you have keyboard games, you have HOTAS, you have steering wheel games. Yes, that's all in between. But on a game, especially where you have hands in it, right? That's where I see it being unnecessary.
Yeah. So here's my thing. A game like Dash World, right? A game that game would work technically on a gamepad.
Sure.
But then the update where you can actually physically grab the steering wheel and steer. That adds a lot more to the game to me.
Correct.
A game like Red Dead Redemption or GTA where I'm shooting, you know, I'm opening car doors, I'm, you know, all that kind of stuff. I want to do those things. Like, I don't want to hit buttons to do it, which in their defense, I mean, Luke Ross does great work. You know, the GTA mod was excellent, but it's a massive undertaking to try to add motion controls to these games with this complexity of a game. It's not like it's easy, and we're not saying the work he does is absolutely amazing. He does great work and some of the best mods for VR, but for me, it's hard to get too excited about it because it doesn't have tracked motion controllers, and that's what I really want. But,
Chris said something without touch controls, it's hybrid VR. Yeah, when touch controllers came out, I mean, it's like going from no touch controllers to having touch controllers on a CV1.
Because CV1 originally came out with the Xbox gamepad, and that was what their vision at that time was how VR was going to work, and obviously that changed for the better.
I meant to send you that picture. I wanted to put it up today. I was scrolling through some old photos, and I found the pictures of the when I got my CV1 and touch controllers in the store.
Oh, yeah.
There was only one Rift S, one touch controller. I was like, there
Rift
when they
CV1,
put it out.
CV1, not
or
Rift
CV1.
S.
Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, CV1 and one set of touch controllers and had the display with the Xbox gamepad with it as well.
Yep.
Next show.
Those
Maybe
were
I'll
fun
get it
times.
next show.
Those are fun times. Hussein X, thank you for that $5 super chat. Said, I wish Rockstar would tell us the VR game they're working on so I can deep dive into GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2 VR mods without future regrets.
Exactly.
And
That's how I always feel too. I know.
I might. I probably will dive in at some point to the Red Dead Redemption 2 VR mod because this is a game that I haven't played flat, that I've always wanted to play flat, but I just never had the time, and I'm not as interested in flat games. So I would rather play this mod with the partial VR, I guess you could say, and be able to experience that than play it on a flat screen. For me personally, I would rather do that. But I don't like aiming with my head and all that stuff. It's just, it gets weird, but I think that this one is probably worth checking out. I don't know. I mean, like he said, if I knew it was getting an official VR support, you know what I mean? Then heck no, I would wait for that because I want, you know, the actual hand controls and stuff. But if this is the only two options I have to experience Red Dead Redemption are flat on a screen or this VR mod, I would pick this VR mod, right? I would.
Right.
So
I get it. I understand it, but there's other stuff I would probably rather play.
Yeah.
That's when I come down to. I mean,
yeah, I mean, there's
my time's worth a lot when it comes to
exactly.
playing
There's
VR.
limited time, so even the time it takes to set up these VR mods, which usually isn't very difficult. You know, the GTA mod wasn't difficult to do. PD has a explanation on how to set this up here in this video we're playing. Check out his channel if you want to see that. But at the same time, I don't have that much time to play, and there's a lot of VR content that is built for VR that I really enjoy, that I want to play. You know what I mean? So time-wise, it's difficult. You know, we don't have unlimited time to play VR as much as we would want to, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm curious, do you think these VR mods bring anybody from the flat gaming world into VR? Do you think somebody's going to say, "Oh, I can play"?
100%.
So you think somebody's going to run out and buy a gaming PC and a headset to be able to play Red Dead Redemption 2 in VR as compared to playing it flat?
I think it depends on the game, and I think it's limited. But when you have those people who are super fans, you know, and they want to play it. I mean, look at all like the simulator people who've played flat forever, triple monitor setups, but had all this invested. They go out and buy a headset because it's amazing for the game that they love, right?
It's next level for racing.
I think existing games that come out with mods, it has to be somebody who's passionate about that game. So like, you know, the work like Dr. Beef and the team over at Lambda VR are doing, they are doing things for games that have been popular a long time ago, right? So I think, you know, Doom 3, I think not a lot, but I think there are people who would actually go out and buy a headset to play that game because it was their absolute favorite game back in the day.
I think it has to be the people too that have tried VR and know the potential of VR, because there's a lot of flat gamers that are like, "Oh, VR's dumb. I'm not even gonna try it." You know, so I don't think they run out and to buy a headset when they see this kind of stuff. But I think people that have tried VR know the potential that it definitely could drive them in more to getting a VR headset. But at the same time, I don't know. I think games like Resident Evil 4, you know, coming with true native VR support, Fallout 4, Skyrim, I think those kind of games do more.
Headset.
I think they do more to bring people into VR.
Absolutely.
But I don't know also if somebody comes from a flat gaming world to jump into VR just to play this game, if they get a bad taste in their mouth about VR because they've never tried any other VR. Now they're playing this game with the controller.
I don't think so.
You know,
I don't think because they're used to playing it on, you know, whether it be a gamepad or a keyboard.
It's true.
So it is like a window into a world for them. So think about your first experiences with VR. You know, how minimal was that compared to what we have now? And it was still epic, right? I mean, you still have memories of things, even with, you know, teleporting.
Yeah.
Even with games that didn't have hand tracking in the beginning, we were still, look at stuff we played on the Gear VR.
True. Yeah, it's true.
There was no
still knew,
you know, track controllers or anything. Nothing.
Yeah, it still shows the potential, I think, not the truth. So Paradise Decay said, yes, my mate came around a few days ago. He tried my Rift S and just ordered a brand new PC and looking for a Rift S. So was that from one of these VR game mods, or was that from actual VR games that he played and he was blown away with? Like what?
Wait, again. Sorry, I'm reading chat. I can't with chat.
He's just saying that one of his friends tried VR at his house and then went out and got a brand new gaming PC and a Rift S. But I'm just curious if that was from playing one of these modded flat games in VR, or if that was from playing a game that was built for VR, you know, something that was built for VR.
And that's a lot of it. And that's the hard part about watching stuff. It doesn't translate. You have to try it.
So what's the poll that's up right now? So is VR without hand controls still true VR? 57% saying yes, 43% saying no. And I mean, yeah, it's definitely mixed. I'm curious about the amount of people that are actually going to take the time to try out these mods, because I know all the content creators and stuff do it and all of that, you know, they put out videos. I'm curious of how many people actually take the time to set this up and do these mods, because it's not, you know, most people buy the Quest because it's easy. Most people buy the Quest because they don't need a gaming PC, you know, and it's just easy. You load it up, you play a game, you know. There is a big thing to be said about barriers for VR. You know, we saw it with a lot of other things, you know, when it's extra steps, extra things you have to do. The majority of people, I would say, don't want to make those extra steps to do something. So I'm just curious how much of a game changer are these mods in VR like this, that you have to do extra steps, that isn't just a game you can download that's been modded into VR, you know, and bing, bang, boom, it works.
I would say they are 100% worth it. I mean, the amount of time that it actually takes, I mean, there's plenty of tutorials out there. I know PD does a lot on them and stuff.
I agree, but the vast majority, are they going to do it? But we've been saying that about side quests, and there's tons of people that never want to try side quests when we said it's not that hard. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not.
So but easy. So I think the vast majority of people are still, not going to take the time to do a lot of these mods. Where there's plenty of people that will, but
I think there's still a big misunderstanding because people see these games and they're like, how do I get it on my Quest? And how do I do this and that? And
yeah.
I don't know. I think you're right. A lot of people don't want to do the research into doing it. They think it should be a point and click or click on it, install, And,
yeah. And so this is.
I mean, they have it so easy. Look back to what we were doing in 16.
A lot of them are very
14,
easy. Like
trying to get
GTA
games
mod was very easy. This is Subnautica Below Zero, which also got a VR mod recently. PD was saying it's like absolutely amazing. I don't know, other people played a gamer tag and stuff, and everybody says absolutely phenomenal. This is another gamepad one though, so this is going to be one you're going to be playing with gamepad, but it makes a little bit more sense in this one, in a submarine and. I don't know. But yeah, I think that it is awesome that there are people willing to take the time to make these mods, because a lot of these games, without that, we may never get to experience these in VR, right? So, I mean, I commend the people to try this. The team at Lambda VR, Luke Ross, what's the team behind the other one? Risk of Rain. That is Dr. Bebop.
Bebop. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely commend them because it's a huge amount of work to do these kind of things. So it's a great way for us to get to experience some of these games that we would never get to experience in VR, even though.
Or would I wouldn't try it unless it was in VR. You know
right.
What I mean?
Yeah, that's true. So they even help sell some of the flat games because people go out and buy
100%.
these games in flat to be able to play them in VR that would have never bought them.
The original devs need to support the modding community.
Yeah.
Hands down. For the stuff that they bring to the table, it's unreal.
That's the other problem is that with a lot of these games, you get updates to the games that break the mod. So then not only do you have to do it once, you have to go back in and do other things to get the mod working again after updates come out. That can be a huge pain in the butt. That can be a deterrent, So Rizzle Rock, another super chat, said, so to me there is hybrid VR and full immersion. Full immersion is still not there. So to me, all VR today is hybrid. Also, SideQuest showed as a virus. That's weird. So when you try to download SideQuest, his computer said it could contain a virus or something. I've never had any issues with SideQuest. I don't know anybody that has, but I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think VR is a full immersion thing yet. It is immersive, I think, but as far as full immersion, we're definitely not there yet. I agree with that. But yeah,
I don't know.
So
I almost beg to differ though, a little bit, only because when I walk away and have memories of doing stuff, I feel like that is.
I think what he means is like full body tracking, be able to physically walk in VR and not use locomotion. So there are ways that it can become more immersive.
I think there's always a next step. I think, eventually we'll get to a point where it is full body, and then we're going to be like, okay, well, the next step is going to be transposed into somebody else's environment with cameras and tracking and stuff like that.
That could be.
There's always, a next step, I feel like.
So as far as that question for PD about his friend, he said, yes, my friend wanted to try the new Subnautica, so I put him in the new game with the VR mod. So that sold him. So that is one example that sold somebody on VR because of a VR mod. So they're excellent.
Blam said GTFO mod runs and looks great. I tried it, and I just told Sean before the show we want to get back into that and play that too because I really like that as a team game. That's a great team.
And that was a very well done mod too. You have hand controllers. You have tracked hand controllers for shooting your guns and stuff. That's the kind of stuff that gets me more excited, and I think those sometimes can be more worth the time spent getting them up and running and everything because I want that full hand tracking.
45 minutes maybe to get into it, even just figuring it out, because we went in with Fluke and we all had different issues with controller bindings and what worked and what didn't.
So it can be a little bit more work sometimes, and some are easier than others, but it is awesome once you're in, and we had a ton of fun playing that game, and I would like to play it more. A lot of these games are pretty demanding on your PC though, so to do a lot of these mods you're going to need a pretty stout PC because you're running this game that's not optimized for VR, and you're trying to run this in VR, and VR is obviously harder to run than a flat game, but I think it's really cool. So the other one this week was Risk of Rain 2 VR mod, and this is another one that does have tracked hand controllers. This is a shooter that you're physically using your hands with the guns. I'm a big fan of that. So this is more of a example of true VR to me. I mean, they're all VR, but yeah. So. And this is cool. I mean, this one is I think all of these are mostly free. The one right now from Luke Ross is the $10 a month Patreon membership to get access to that. I do believe he's releasing that to the public as well, but it's kind of exclusive to the Patreon for right now. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Which I think is great. They need support. They do put a lot of work into this stuff. And whether
just
that
like
be
Lambda
through
VR.
PayPal or
Yeah,
however. Exactly.
just like
They do
Lambda VR.
PayPal
I mean,
stuff.
they've done so many things with Doom and all these other games. You know, it's great to support them and
Yes,
give them some revenue
100%.
because, you know, they're not making a ton of money off spending all this time developing these games, you know,
they do it for the
VR
passion,
mods.
trust
Yeah,
me.
that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I totally
100%.
agree. So,
Yep.
yeah.
No, and this does look good. It's maybe not my style of game per se, but I think it's done really well. Two-handed with click to grip and stuff like that on the guns, which is great to see. I think this
and I
game
think
is,
one of the biggest
looks really
things for
good.
this is going to be the scale, you know, because you're fighting a lot
Sure
of
it
these
is.
bosses that are massive, you know what I mean?
And multiplayer.
Yeah, and multiplayer. And when you're playing this game, you know, on a flat screen, you never get the scale of how big this guy is. You see a big character on screen, it's like, oh, cool, he's big. You see that big character in VR, and you're like,
Oh yeah.
holy crap, this guy's towering over me. This is intimidating. You know what I mean? So it's a whole other experience. So I think that is where this mod is really going to shine. This looks excellent. I love that it has tracked motion controllers. I think it's awesome. So Aaron Summers said Risk of Rain 2 is one of my favorite flat games. So especially
cool.
for the people that
Nice.
love these games flat, that is where I think these mods really, really shine because then they get to actually experience being in this game instead of just watching it on a screen. So if you're a huge fan of one of these games, awesome. You know, that was why I got so excited about GTA mod, you know, because I had played that game a bunch on the Xbox. So getting to jump into that game and actually experience it was very exciting. It was very exciting for me. It never brought me back a whole bunch. I never spent tons and tons of hours in the VR mod, but it was something that I thought was worth experiencing, you know, and if it had multiplayer, I would probably play it a whole lot more if I wouldn't get banned from doing the mod and jumping into multiplayer, but
Sure. Yeah, I agree. Chris Richardson says G2A has Risk of Rain 2 for $11. We were just talking about that before the show.
I think I
They
saw
are in
it
sales in
somewhere.
places or
CD Keys or
cheaper.
something had it for like $9 or something like that.
Yeah,
but-
$9.99 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
that's
Somewhere.
what Phil Yarn just said. CD Keys has Risk of Rain for $9.99. So
There you go.
Yeah, so I mean that's a cheap way to pick up a really good game, a full game. You know that you get to experience in a whole new way. So
Yep. Yeah, it is. No, it's awesome. And these are great games to play.
like
now in VR.
person said, this is a true VR mod. So.
Yep,
Yeah, I mean,
it
yeah,
is.
I agree, and I think there's a ton of potential, and I think we're going to see more and more of this. Just like even with, like I keep talking about Resident Evil 4, that that's coming out soon as a true VR mod. I think there's a ton of potential of turning these older games into true VR mod games that are truly for VR. I still think that it's a bigger benefit of building a game from the ground up for VR because there's a lot of unique special
is.
things you can utilize VR to take
world and
advantage
stuff.
of.
There is.
Yes, but I still think it is very awesome to just take one of these older games and fully redevelop it for VR, full VR mod, full hand-tracked controllers. I think it's awesome.
I mean, look, a lot of these are being done by one person to mod these things.
yeah, massive amount of work.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work, but it's done. So I feel like these all need to start being done in-house by dev companies going forward with flat games. I think gonna be on their radar. I really do. I think when they're brainstorming the workflow of their game, I think it needs to be in there. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
I
hopefully this is the future. And hopefully, even IGN was covering the fact that Red Dead Redemption 2 just got a VR mod, So, I mean, people are taking notice. So hopefully, as more and more people talk about this and how awesome it is in VR, even though it's not a true, built from the ground up VR game, hopefully this makes some of the big AAA developers take notice of, man, this... there's a lot of benefits of building a game for VR or making a game capable in VR. It's a whole new world. I mean, it really is. There's just the power of VR to transform the world around you and take you to different places is just something you won't get from a flat game. I mean, I remember playing flat games with you and I remember the experience of that, but I don't remember anything specific about those games and playing them together. I have specific memories of playing VR games together. You know what I mean?
So let's go back to LAN parties, right? Many of you even maybe watching have never experienced a LAN party, but when I remember playing the original Halos or Halo 2 and having those LAN parties, I remember the yelling back and forth between rooms and consoles and TVs and groups of fours. I don't remember living in the world, but now my memories of playing with you are inside of these worlds.
Yeah, it's like we were there. Like I have a memory of us being
saying,
terrified down in tunnels in
100%.
Arizona sunshine. I have memories that seems
all
like
these
those
games,
were places that we were at, not just a screen that we were staring at. It's
I have
awesome.
memories of turning laps on the Nürburgring. I couldn't do that in real life. I can't take my cars and drive them there. It's not possible.
Yeah.
It never will
You
be.
can
You
ship
know what I
them
mean?
there, but that's way too expensive.
Yeah, right.
So Paradise Decay brought up another point. He said people overlook that massive immersion that a VR headset in a game like Subnautica feels like you're wearing a scuba mask in VR, and that is true. Especially when I think of 2MD football. You know, it gives you the feeling that you're wearing a football helmet because of the view and
Sim
because you
racing.
feel something on your face. Sim racing gives you the perception that you're looking out of what you see in a helmet. You have something on your head.
So bad do I want to take one of my VR headsets and like strap it to one of my helmets. Like take the visor off, put it in there.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
you could
slip on the helmet, like be for real.
So Beanzo79 says, I love VR, but I'm not doing any of that. And I'm guessing he's talking about the mods. And there's a big part of people. There's a big majority, or a big, I don't know about majority, because I think it's split kind of 50-50, but there's a big part of the community that doesn't want anything to do with having to do mods. And partially I understand, because I don't like any barriers to getting into VR. I want to be able to jump into VR as quick as I can and play something right away, because like you said, time
but once
is,
it's on there, it's done. Once you set it up, it's done.
Until they do an update. So it's not, you know what I mean?
True.
It's it's not as easy. You can't argue that it's as easy as just playing a VR game.
Right.
Same with
Unless it's
Vorpex. You know, same with Vorpex. You know, you can get some really good experiences, and people really like some of the experiences, but it's a lot of work, a lot of tweaking, a lot of, you know, reading what settings everybody's using, and it's work. It's work, and that's, you know.
I would love to be there, you know, in like let's say a dev studio, okay? And the guys who, you know, at Rockstar, who made Red Dead Redemption stuff, who actually grinded that out, right? Now, what if they had a VR headset for them to try it?
Do you think they do that?
I would love to be there. I would love to be there and see them try that.
That's
because
a good
that
point.
would be
That's a good point.
So freaking cool for them to go back in and be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All of this we created, we are in it. Like, we're living inside of it. I just think that would be so sick.
Yeah, it would be interesting to be a fly on the wall just to see what their
say
reaction,
about it,
what they say about it. Yeah, I totally agree.
I think those would be the moments when they're like, we need to be developing for VR now. I do.
I think so too. Do. I mean, it's just, there's just so much potential, and I feel like hopefully these AAA teams are starting to realize, like, man, we need to at least start dabbling in some of this stuff. You know what I mean? If they haven't already.
Yep.
And I think the time is now, you know, compared to what 2016, when maybe some people did and they got a bad taste. You know, it's a whole different world of what VR is now compared to what it was in 2016.
Scale is right now. The warp effect, all that's gone from the early.
Yeah, and there's so much more information about how to do it. You know, there's so much more information about how to successfully do these things, where back then everybody was still just trying to figure it out. So it was a lot harder than what it is now, and it's going to continue to get a little bit easier. Paradise Decay said, "Is that a Triumph t-shirt?" Talking about your shirt.
No.
It is a Triumph t-shirt. So yeah, and Hussein X said,
I'm preparing one for the track.
So Hussein X said, Luke Ross's mods are super easy to install, and they are. I agree. They, you know, the GTA mod was not difficult, and I don't like doing that kind of stuff. I don't like tinkering with stuff like that all the time. Tyler does a lot more than I do. I end up running into issues, and I'm calling him like, what the heck did I do wrong? But it's not hard. So, I mean, I definitely recommend trying it out. I recommend it. I mean, if you're a hardcore VR enthusiast, I think you should try some of these VR mods, you know, and see what you think. So, especially the ones that don't really cost much. You can pick up that one game for $10, you know. So
and free mod. So why not?
Yep. So.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely worth it to try. And if you're looking, I mean, they're full-fledged games too. That's the thing. These aren't like, you know, small-scale VR games. They are huge, full-sized games. So
Yep. So let us know what you think. Is VR mods? What do you think this is doing for the community? Do you think it's something that is amazing? Do you think it's something that, you know, isn't going to get as much exposure as it should? Do you think, you know, are you the kind of person that doesn't want to take the time to do it and just writes it off? Or are you the kind of person that is so excited about these, jumps in head first and just goes crazy? Right. I mean, I'm curious.
I would, after the fact, you know, if you're watching this later, not live, whenever, did you buy a VR headset to play a game in VR? Like, did you get into VR because you wanted to get into VR, or did you buy it for a game because you saw something and wanted to get into it, wanted to try it? Because I feel like that's the boundary that VR needs to cross, is kind of translating that, you know. And we talked earlier before the show, like Beat Saber did that for a lot of people, right? I mean, people saw it and are like, I want to get in there and do that. So I feel like we need those hurdles to jump across to translate, instead of just these flat videos that people think, oh, I could play that on my PC. No, you can't. You can play it on there. You can't live it. Like, to me, that's where that that hurdle needs to be jumped.
I agree. But, I mean, VR, we say it all the time. And that's one of the reasons we do this show, is just because we love VR so much. And it's something that to us is so powerful and shows so much of the future of what's possible.
That's why we buy all these games for you guys to give out. We want you to try more. We want you to play more and do more. We love it. We really do.
Totally agree.
Yep.
So let me see here. We do have another code to give away. This is actually Jham. Oh, I got to pull that down, Patreons for right now. So that was one from Jham that he sent us a little while back to give away. So the Surgeon Simulator on Steam. So definitely make sure you sign up for the Blue Planet VR one in the Gleam giveaway. Let us know. Answer the question. Let us know your thoughts. Be a question you got to answer first. But yeah, I mean, it's an awesome game. Make sure you got room for it on your Quest if you put it on Quest, because it's a big file.
That's true.
But
yeah, I mean, the nice thing is you can always cycle games out.
Yeah,
you know, just because you
I did that all the
one
time
off
on
there.
my first Quest.
Exactly. A lot of people are like, buy the smaller one to be cheaper. 100%. It's the cheapest entry point you can have for VR. So I think it's great, but don't be fearful to, you know, delete stuff off of it, and don't be fearful to try stuff and return it. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, stuff's expensive, and it is, because you want to try everything when you buy a headset, right? Like, you just want to play every game out there. You want to eat it all up.
Right.
So don't be fearful to try it. And
that's one thing with Demeo. Like, a lot of people haven't tried that because they're like, that's not my type of game. And I tell people, you just got to try it, because it's not my type of game either, and I absolutely love it. So just jump in there and try it. And I am curious, maybe we need to get a dev on some point, because I'm curious on their standpoint as far as buying games and returning them if you don't like them. I don't like to do that. I don't personally do that very often, but I would rather somebody, if they're going to completely... Yeah, but I mean, my thought is, if somebody's going to completely write off that game, I feel like it's better for the dev for them to at least try it, and possibly they may love it, and if they don't, return it. At least that was a potential sale they could have made as compared to no sale at all without even, you know what I mean?
People are more likely to not return something than they are to try the demo and then buy it, probably.
Right. Yeah.
They won't probably return it.
You're probably right. You're probably right. I
mean?
wonder, the psychology
They'll
behind
just keep
that.
it.
Yeah. So, I mean, just don't be afraid to try stuff, and at least try it. You know what I mean? If you think it's questionable and you might not like it, at least try it. Just like with Demeo. I don't know why I was saying. Anyways, but yeah, I do want to say a big thank you to the Patreons, because we have got some new ones lately, and we really appreciate that. They're listed down at the bottom. Huge. Yes. You know, we get awesome support from this community. You know, we're pretty small still in the grand scheme of things, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. You know, we're here because we love this community, and they support us so much. We try to give back as much as we can. We really do appreciate it. And this show is just so much fun for us. Even this week, you know, we're like, man, what are we going to talk about this week? There's really no groundbreaking things, you know, but there are some big things that happened, and we wanted to get into a little bit more of a discussion about some other things. And
these are the discussions you and I have anyways.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If we would cancel the show or not do a show, we'd be talking about it anyways.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really matter.
But
yeah, we do appreciate all the shout outs to, you know, on Reddit and stuff. It was really cool to see, you know, people in chatter who watch the show shouting us out. So
yeah, it was awesome.
Cheers
Appreciate
to that.
that.
Yeah.
And the poll, flat screen VR mods worth the work or no? 91% saying yes and 9% saying no. You just put it up 2 minutes ago.
Once people
so
try it, once people do a mod, they're like, oh man, like this is awesome.
Yeah.
And you're getting those huge games then typically, because they're games that are serious games.
Yeah,
usually.
that you're going to spend a lot of time, because VR games aren't always as big. You know, we don't get as long a campaigns, you know, as you do with a flat game. So it is pretty cool. VR Dynamite said, totally not pronounced Demeo. I don't know.
Demeo.
I think we already had this debate, and I got a lot of answers that were correct, and I don't remember what they were. So I just say it however it comes to my head. I don't know.
I think it's DMEO.
DMEO?
Yeah, that's right.
BINGO? Oh, you're ridiculous. So
Sorry,
so we'll probably hop off and play some stuff. We actually planned on playing some stuff with Tyreal last weekend. We were going to play Population 1, and we talked to him so long after the show we ran out of time. Tyler had to be somewhere, and we didn't play. But
we need to set up some private matches this week. Can we do that on some Pop One? Because we can have everybody on our Discord play. We will create a whole room for all of you guys.
Yeah, we could do that, totally.
That would be awesome. It'd be great.
For sure.
I really want to.
So, yeah.
And not crazy. We won't do crazy room. Like, you know, because private matches, it was funny. At first, when we were testing them before they were out, everyone wanted to create one that were like pistols only or headshot, you know, all the crazy stuff.
Right.
We just want to do like some team deathmatch
to play with the
like
community.
in there.
You know what I mean?
Right,
Even though we're probably
exactly.
going to get tore up, that's okay. That's all right because we're not that
Right.
good anymore. And also contractors. Blitz said, I think that's how you.
Oh
Blizz,
no!
contractors.
Look who's in chat. Look who's in chat.
Who's in chat? Oh,
Austin
Austin
said-
TS, yeah.
It met one. No, we were both in there, Austin. Come
Yeah,
on. Who
we
do you
were
think
both in
killed you
there.
the
Yeah.
end?
So yeah, well, we didn't kill him. He did kill us. He killed both of us, and we talked about this last week. And then we
thought
had to
he
get.
was-
No, we had to
he
get
at the end?
revived. We had to get revived from our teammate that had no idea how to play.
That was dope.
Took us 10
Yeah.
minutes to finally have him get us back up and revived, and we ended up winning that match. So I don't think we killed
Yeah.
him. Somebody else must have. But we did come back and win that match, even though he killed both of us. He got the drop on us, and we were both like, "What happened?" So
I thought
that was
no,
awesome.
he was. I swore he was at the end.
I don't think so. Maybe he can say,
What?
but I don't. I just know we won the
Oh,
round,
man.
but I don't remember seeing his
Yeah.
name again. But yeah, that was
Oh,
cool. That
great.
was awesome. We love
Yeah.
meeting people and just randomly in VR games. It's so cool when people are like,
It
"Hey,
is
wait a
funny.
minute,
We'll be
aren't
we'll
you
be
the
talking
guys
in
from
a
Coffee and
corner.
VR?" And then we're like, "What? What is that? We never heard of that."
Because our names are still like our gamer tags since Xbox.
Way back in the day when
yeah,
I had no idea,
right.
and every gamer tag I tried was already taken, so I just came up with something stupid, and now it's like I'm stuck with it
Right.
forever.
What was my old school? What was my old Xbox gamer tag?
I don't know.
Forget. Oh, all-wheel drive.
Oh
drifting, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was.
I love to
I
see
remember
everyone's
that.
gamer tags. It's
Yeah,
great.
I forgot.
man.
And
Yeah.
it gets confusing
Yeah.
though too because a lot of people's names are different in Discord. They're different on YouTube, and then they're different in game. And it's like, who is this? You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm. Right,
like
right,
James
right.
is one of the worst because he changes his all the time. First time
Yeah,
I
yeah.
played Demio with him, I had no idea it was him, and he messaged me afterwards like, "Great game." I was like, "What? That was you in there? You changed your name again?" Like I didn't even realize
I
that was
know,
you.
I
So
know.
it's crazy,
Yep,
but
it is
yeah,
funny,
it's
though.
crazy.
Yep. Did we grab our verified
we haven't.
tags and pop one?
I
No,
haven't.
we don't really. We just play, man.
Yeah,
I don't.
I haven't
like,
done that.
We like to run a little incognito sometimes and stuff.
Yeah.
Just
It's
us
fun.
though.
It's fun. But yeah, we'll
Yeah.
we'll probably play something. We'll throw it in the Discord. I think my wife just went out shopping, so I got some time. We actually have some work to do on the house. We're working on the deck and getting the pool ready for the summer and everything. So, but it sounds like I got some time before she's back. So
Wait, pop one.
yeah, I'm down for whatever. I'm down for
Let's
whatever.
go.
All right,
Let's
cool.
go.
Yeah,
Why are we
so-
doing on here? All right.
Yep. But we definitely appreciate
seriously.
you, everybody hanging out. Appreciate you being here in
Yes.
chat. We love doing this. Tyler's out of coffee. Make sure you join the Discord and what?
Hey, so speaking of cars, I just want to, dang it, I wanted to send you those images too, because you didn't even get to see them yet.
I haven't seen 'em.
I went to a car show last Sunday. It's the Triple F collection. Look it up on YouTube if you're into cars. The sickest private collection of cars I've ever
I
seen.
told you to take a 360 camera and we
my
could have put it
gosh.
on YouTube.
No,
That'd have been
look,
sweet.
I took everything with me, and I was cleaning up my drool behind me the whole time. I think their private collection has to push like 20 million in cars.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
That
they had
would've
them
been cool.
all there. They drove them there. I mean, insane stuff.
Yeah.
McLaren Sabres, McLaren Speedtail. The son of Pagani, I think, came in for the show. Even I heard.
Jeez. I wanna go to
guess
that
he
next
was
time.
there. It was
cool.
sick.
Oh, you know what else?
afterwards-
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, sorry, I'm a car nut. So for me, like to get around that stuff, that's a once in a lifetime
Yeah, we both
thing.
like cars a
And
lot.
I've taken a lot of cars, gone to a lot of car shows, and I know after the fact, like after the show's over, is when they're always there BSing and around the cars. And they had them all there running, left with them and stuff. And I told
Yeah.
my wife, I'm like, go ride with one, go back with one. I don't care. Just get in a car. I don't care what guy you pick. Like,
Oh,
get in with
jeez.
one. You know.
Oh boy, this is getting bad. What I was gonna say is that CES announced next year it is going to be an in-person show in Las Vegas, CES 2022.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about that and talk about possibly going. I'm totally down.
Yep.
We've always wanted to go to CES. Things got canceled and all this crazy stuff over the past couple years.
I know.
So we might do that. I would love to. So anyways, we got to get out of here. We got to leave some time to play
Yes.
this time.
Yes.
Thank you so much for everybody for being here, all the support, all the super chats and buy me a coffees. Truly appreciate
Yes,
it.
seriously, do.
Yeah.
It's the only reason we can bring all these games to you guys and do what we're doing and try and cover all these headsets and everything.
Yeah, somebody
8
said I
likes?
need to
Somebody said
order.
8 likes?
Oh man, I hope it's more than that. That's terrible, man. Maybe we just need to stop doing this. Everybody hates it.
It's because you didn't manicure your beard today. Come on,
I tried,
slacker.
man. I tried.
Slacker.
But somebody did say, Artful said, time to order that Vive Pro 2, Sean. And I've been looking. I actually looked at it on
know. They're great
Amazon, but it
headsets.
says they're not available. They're actually on Amazon, but I guess it's only for the first day, and they're not available. I'm still tempted because I already have the base station index controllers. I don't know. I spent so much money on the Y'all 2. I don't know. I'm still debating. I might still do it, but I don't know. Anyways, got to get out of here.
Yep.
Catch you later.
See you guys. See you back here. See you in Pop 1. Later.
I'm down. Later. Got into VR in 2016. First, we got the Rift.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey, it worked. It
There
worked.
he is. How about
Perfect.
that?
Hey.
We're lucky to be here. I will admit that. My name's Tyler. This is Sean. We're Rendered Reality, and we were definitely up late playing some VR last night.
Yeah.
Always bigger.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
Not always better.
Let's keep it PG, boys.
I mean, right? We don't know like how much
Right,
sound
I
is coming
agree,
out of it.
It's true.
Right,
Is there more sound coming out of it? We don't know.